Everyone. Today we're going to learn how to compare decimals, and you're going to find that it's actually pretty easy. It's very similar to comparing, whole numbers. It's whichever one has a greater value. It's just dealing with numbers that extend past the decimal point. So how do I compare decimals up to the hundredths place? In fourth grade, we really only go up to the hundredths place, but just keep in mind that these numbers can continue for quite a while in this direction. We're just going to concern ourselves with this place value right here. So I have two decimals I'm going to compare. I have 4/10. This is in the tenths place. And I have 33 hundredths. The second three right here does stop at the hundredths place value. And I have models here that I'm going to shade in to help us visualize these numbers. So you might be looking at just the numbers and thinking, well, 4 is less than 33, but remember, these are decimals, not whole numbers. So we do need to look at them a little bit differently. So I'm going to shade in these models here so we can visualize. So this is 4/10. So I would shade in 4 of these columns. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then 33 hundredths. Well, remember, there's 10 each, so I can count by 10. So 10, 20, 30, okay, and then 31, 32, and 33. All right. Now, it might look kind of similar, but keep in mind that, I have 4 entire columns filled in here, and on this side, I only have 3 columns and a little bit of the 4th column filled in. Something else you can think about is you could extend this number into the hundredths place. So remember, I have no, I don't have any hundredths. They're all nice uniform columns that are filled in. So I can put a 0 here. And then I've made these actually, they go out to the same place value. So now I have 40 hundredths, which would be the same as 4/10. And I have my 33 hundredths over here. And this actually might make it a little bit easier to compare the numbers now. And so you can really easily see that 4/10 or 40 hundredths is greater than 33 hundredths. Okay, and we also have the models here to show it's just a little bit more than this one. So another way we can compare decimals is to use a place value chart. And you may find that this is actually a little bit easier than using a model, because I know it helps me just to see the numbers actually like stacked and next to each other. So here I have 1 and 7/10, and then I have 1 and 9 hundredths. Okay, and so again, you might just if you just look at the numbers, you might think, well, 9 is more than 7, but remember, place value is what matters most. Okay, it's more important than the actual digit itself even. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to fill these numbers into my place value chart. So first I'm going to put 1 and 7/10 here. And then I'm going to put the 1 and 9 hundredths here. And remember, just like when we compare whole numbers, you always start at your largest place value. So in this case, it's the ones. They are the same. So then I'm going to keep going on until I come to a place value where they are not the same. And that's going to be my tenths place. Here you can see I have a 7 and a 0. So my 7/10 is actually greater than my 9 hundredths. And again, if we wanted to, we could fill in the hundredths place with a 0, and then that would make it 70 hundredths. Okay, and then 70 is definitely more than 9. So you can shade in a model or use a place value chart. Or if you can just really stack them, just make sure that your decimals are lined up. Okay, now that we're working with decimals, you remember with whole numbers, I always would say it's really important to have your commas lined up. Same thing here, make sure your decimal point is always lined up. Okay, so a couple quick practice problems. Here I have 6/10, and here I have 60 hundredths. So go ahead and pause the video and figure out which symbol would go in here. Okay, did I trick you? Let's see. So I'm actually going to do what I said before, and I'm going to make this go to the hundredths place. I'm going to add a 0. And so if you recognized, hey, that's the same number, then they are actually equivalent. They're equal to each other. 6/10 is equal to 60 hundredths. You can turn this into 60 hundredths, and then they are exactly the same. All right, and now let's see 5 and 25 hundredths, and then compare that to 5 and 3/10. Okay, so a couple options here. Like I said, if you wanted to draw models, you could, or actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this number here and I'm just going to stack it real fast on top of this other number. And you can see my whole numbers are the same, my decimals are lined up. And then when I come here, okay, I have a 3 in the 10th place versus a 2 in the 10th place. So I'm going to put this back over here. And now it's a lot easier to see that way that, you know, hey, that's the greater decimal, okay, because my 10th place is different and this is bigger. And again, if you put a 0 at the end, really easy to see. 30 is greater than 25. Alrighty, and that is it for today. Pretty quick, simple lesson, like I said. Lots of different tools you can use, you know, a place value chart, you know, adding a 0 if it only is in the tens place, just to bring it out to the hundredths place. And yeah, so comparing decimals. So your assignments for today are IXL lessons T9 and T15. Both are going to have you do some more practice on comparing decimals. And remember, you do not have to get a SMART score of 100. If you are getting, you know, upper 80s, 90 score, then that's great. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.